So I was explaining to my dad the relevance of understanding the open concept, even if you never intend to have a sexually open relationship. Now, an open relationship is defined very, very simply, and we've done it here several times. It's one in which you can show up as a real person with your partner. You can actually show up authentically, share your authentic thoughts. You don't have a whole nother separate mind containing your real thoughts, whereas, your partner only knows a portion of those thoughts. So most of the time, our partners only know a portion of who we are, because the other portion are things that we can't share, such as our fantasies. Maybe those fantasies include other people. We can't share sometimes our dreams, our job desires. For instance, my husband worked a corporate job for many, many years, and he could not share with me the fact that he really hated it. And he didn't want to be there because he didn't want to scare me. I have children. I'm nursing young babies. He couldn't really share those things with me. As well, there are many things that we oftentimes can't share with our partners. Even a crush that we're having with somebody on television, or a way that we felt at work when somebody touched our arm, or, we just, you have to put those into your other mind, because you can't share that authentic mind with your partner. You have to say things that are acceptable, reasonable, logical, and that makes sense for the relationship. You don't want to get anybody pissed off. You don't want to get anybody upset. So when we talk about an open relationship, it's one in which you actually share that other part of yourself. You actually show up as a real person in your relationship, okay? When we talk about a sexually open relationship, what we're talking about is, okay, not only can we share that other part of ourselves, but we can actually act on that other part of ourselves. And it's not going to hamper the relationship. Not that it won't provide challenges for the relationship, but it won't essentially end the relationship. Okay, we decide that in the sexually open relationship. So in terms of a non-sexual open relationship, which is very feasible, especially for couples like, for instance, Eva Lerong and Tony Parker, who got a divorce because Tony Parker was sexting another woman. Okay. Later, Eva came online and, went on an interview and said she's still in love with her husband. But, they're divorced now. We have a lot of these cases where, for instance, a woman's husband cheats on her, has an outside affair. And, of course, he couldn't tell her what the original issue was. He couldn't tell her what the problems he was having. He couldn't tell her any of those things because, of course, they're kept in his other mind. And oftentimes we can't share that other mind in our relationship. What happens with many of these couples is that they end up in a divorce. Even if the woman cheats or has an extramarital affair with the man, we end up in divorce. Well, what happens after that? We have children. We have other things to consider. We have taxes that are combined. We have money that was combined. We have built a life together. Oftentimes, these couples have been married 7 to 10 to 14 to 20 years and even beyond. One thing that everyone says is, well, communication will solve everything. Well, communication won't solve everything because people aren't communicating because they literally are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They are not going to communicate in a society that says that it is bad or wrong to have a feeling for another person, or it is bad or wrong to not be sexually satisfied by your partner. How could we communicate those things in a place that says that these things are unacceptable? If I tell my husband it is unacceptable for you to ever be attracted to another woman, then why would he ever communicate that he's attracted to another woman? He just try to sneak and deal with these feelings as best he can. He probably wouldn't tell anybody who could really help him out. He definitely wouldn't tell me because the behavior was deemed unacceptable. It's like a child who pees in the bed. If the behavior is deemed unacceptable, then the child's going to try to get up in the middle of the night, change the sheets, put something down so that nobody knows. It's going to try to be a secret. So I hear a lot of relationship experts talking about communication. Well, I say bull. I call bull on that. Because why would a person communicate something that was deemed illegal, unacceptable, ridiculous even? Same with being unsatisfied with your partner. If I'm not satisfied with my partner sexually, as a woman, I really have no options. I can communicate this to him and a very difficult way, try to get something done. I don't know what. I don't know which clinic he can go to learn about how to please me sexually. I don't know what we could do. I guess we could try to find some Tantra classes if we're informed. Many people don't even know what the word Tantra means. So we're talking about a society and a culture in which these things are not openly communicated. And it's said from the beginning that these things are really not acceptable. So I just don't want to just chalk this all up to a communication issue, because it's not. It's a paradigm issue. It's a cultural belief issue. If we believe that once you're married, if we literally believe that once you're married, you should not have a desire for another person, if we believe that, then that communication is off the table. You feel me? So don't, we don't want to oversimplify this and say that we're just having communication issues, because that's not the case at all. Okay?